Well, I do need to make a video based on, why we shouldn't cyberbully anyone and why we need to sit there and pretty much stand up against bullying, cyberbullying to be exact. Now, those of you guys who are probably wondering, why am I making this video right now? Well, not that long ago, I found out that Michaela Rains, animal rescuer of Save a Fox YouTube channel. Unfortunately, her husband posted a video on the channel, and apparently she took her own life. So I obviously was sad to hear this because they've lost her husband lost a wife, and apparently she did not deserve the harassment she was getting through people who she thought were her friends that actually caused her to took her own life. So, like, to the people that did that, I really hope they rot in hell, and I hope they do get what's coming to them. Because here's the thing. Cyberbullying is a big issue, and it has been a big issue for a long time. So, basically, cyberbullying has been around since I think the 1990s and 2000s. A new way of bullying someone became available to aggressive students. Cyberbullying, apparently. So basically, this way of causing peers distress through technological means allowed bullies to reach victims where they're always had been safe in their own homes. So basically, whatever you're on your social media and stuff like that. So an example of cyberbullying can go on by saying, spreading lies or posting embarrassing photos or videos of someone on social media, sending hurtful, abusive, or threatening messages, images, or videos via messaging platforms, impersonating someone to send them mean messages to others on their behalf through fake accounts is another one. And it's unfortunate that this is really common nowadays. It's common to see, people getting cyber harassment every day. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be in your 20s and you could still get cyberbullying, which of course is harassment of any kind. Now, in some instances, cyberbullying can be a crime in some cases. But however, signs of bullying, which is physical injuries such as unexplained bruises, but that's bullying. But however, though, what counts as cyberbullying is using, a phone or computer or anything electronic to harass, threaten, or embarrass or target another person. So basically, with rude text, tweets, posts, or images or messages all counts. So posting personal information such as pictures or videos designed to hurt or embarrassing others online. This is very common when it comes to the internet. A lot of people do get cyberbullied every day. And there are people that unfortunately took their own lives because they couldn't handle the cyber harassment. I remember this one person named Amanda Todd, and now most of you guys probably know who she is. She was cyberbullied to the point where she ends up taking her own life because she couldn't handle the cyberbullying harassment over, I think, a picture of herself was leaked online. I can't remember, but yeah. This is why we have to take a stand against bullying, because bullying is something we do not tolerate or condone in this community, as well as others. So this is the best way to stand up against bullying, is to make sure that the person feels safe. And we want to check on them and make sure they're okay. So what is the best way to stop the cyberbullying? One of them is do not respond onto and don't forward cyberbullying messages. You may think, that might, fix things. Well, unfortunately, that just adds fuel to the fire, and it just doesn't work. So if somebody sends you a mean message, don't even bother responding to them unless, you're calling them out for their instant. There are some instances where you can call them out, but if somebody is constantly harassing you like this, don't even bother responding to them, because that's what they want. They want you to respond. They want you to sit there and, respond to them so they can get the attention that they want from you. So, like, don't sit there and harass them to no end if they send you a threatening text. Like, I've gotten those from social medias like Discord, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Lots of social media platforms, there are cyber bullies. There's a lot of them. I know there's a couple out there that like to harass others, drive people to taking their own lives and that, which is very unfortunate because this is very common when it comes to cyberbullying, especially in teens. It's the worst in teens. Now, it is common for adults too, because I know Space Trucker, who's one of my closest friends. He was Space Voyager at one point until he was getting harassment, and he's been harassed constantly by one person that I'm not going to mention who they are, but whoever they are, you know who they are, or he is actually. So basically, Space Trucker was being sent disgusting videos and images by this person. And it's really that is a form of cyberbullying, is sitting there and doing that. Now, I remember at one point, I believe sometime in 2022, someone sent me a really disgusting porn out of me and Space Trucker. Yeah. That's that's the images that I was sent. I'm not going to post them here because obviously it's disgusting, and yeah, it's best you do not know. Apparently, here's the thing. If you do not like someone, does that give you the right to harass and cyberbully someone for that? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make anything better. In fact, it makes it just feel naturally worse. And this is something we need less of. So, yeah. So, like, don't respond to people's messages just because you got mad with them because they sent you a really disheartening text. Like, you know, that's just that just adds fuel to the fire. If you're going to sit there and, respond to them, they're just going to keep responding back, and the cyberbullying will never end. So, don't sit there and do that. That's literally my best advice, is don't sit there and do that. What I think you could do as well is keep evidence of cyberbullying, record the dates, times, and descriptions of instances when cyberbullying has occurred. You could save and print screenshots, emails, and text messages, etc., in case if the bullying gets too much or it's not going to stop and the people have pretty much trying to go on alts to harass you that way, then that would be best to get the authorities involved if needed, if someone, sends death threats or something like that. So that is the best advice I can definitely say when it comes to pretty much cyberbullying. And another way you can prevent it is blocking the person. And if they come back at all, keep blocking them until they give up. Because eventually they will give up and they will leave you alone after a while. Because once they see that you're not giving them any attention, then they'll pretty much just move on and leave you alone. That was instances with me because I have been cyberbullied by people. And this is why you have to be careful on who you add online, because you don't know who this person could turn out to be. Like, I was fooled by a bunch of people thinking that they were different people, but then they became the person that they were when I cut contact with them. And yeah, it's unfortunate. Of course, another thing you should do is, if you are getting cyberbullied, is pretty much sit there and raise awareness. That's one of the reasons you can do. You can have your parents involved if you need to, if they're threatening you or your parents. Now, another thing you have to do is, monitor, what goes on your social media so you can prevent any cyberbullying from harassment. Now, of course, you do realize that a lot of the times when you get cyberbullied, some people could be minors or adults cyberbullying people because you don't know. I mean, we don't know who's behind the screen. The reason why I'm making this video is because I want people to stand up against bullying, and we can put an end to cyber harassment. Now, I know there's one person that keeps popping up, doxing people's names and stuff. Now, I'm not going to mention who this person is, but he knows who he is. And yeah, I do have to say, you know, if the cyberbullying continues by, if they're leaking your personal info, like your address, I'm not saying they will, but if they happen to do it, then that's when you can get the authorities involved and say that your life has been in danger because of that. So that's basically the case. And if that happens, then yeah, legal action is, required if necessary. But most of the time, what I sit there and suggest is if someone sends you a message, just block them and ignore them. Because all they're going to do is talk out of their ass and stuff. So, but it's really unfortunate that this YouTuber, Michaela, unfortunately, she took her own life because of the cyber harassment. Now, I don't know who those people were that harassed her, but whoever they are, I really hope they go fuck themselves. Because it was not okay to sit there and harass a YouTuber. Now, it's really unfortunate that things like this do happen. People take their own lives because they don't want to handle the cyber harassment and that. I know a few people took their own lives because they don't want to get harassed anymore. And it's unfortunate because it does happen all over the world. No matter where you live, no matter where you are, cyberbullying can happen at any time. Now, we need to take a stand against cyberbullying and know what we can and do to reduce the cyberbullying rates. Basically, and another thing too is I know you guys would never sit there, those that have followed my channel for so long, you guys I know for a fact will never go ahead and cyberbullying people or anything like that. But I will say, if you don't like someone because me and my community doesn't like them, then don't go ahead and cyberbullying the person over that. There's no need for it because I will not condone harassment of any kind on this channel. And if I find out you're harassing this one person that my community and I don't like, you will be called out and you will be booted from this channel for good. No questions, no second chances, nothing. I'm being brutally honest and I'm being dead serious on this. So anyways, I guess with that being said, that's pretty much all I have to really say. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take a stand against bullying and cyberbullying, and we can make this internet a better place. So anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Blue Sky, follow me on DeviantArt, and follow me on my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo. Links to those will be in the About page section. So you guys can go follow me on those. And as always, I'll be seeing you guys all in the next video. Peace out. And like always, roll the outro because I'm out.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video. And I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.